Range.
57, Toni DC,
Okay. Marital status.
separated.
Okay. Sexual preference, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm hetero. I just want a man.
Your age, your cycle started.
13,
Okay. And the name your mother gave the vagina.
vagina.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a rare one.
I see, right? Did your mother or grandmother tell you what to expect during menopause?
Never mentioned it. Never mentioned it. Never saw signs of it. Had no clue it was coming.
Oh, wow. Can you define menopause for me?
A change of life. Um, menopause for me, am I describing my first one? My first attack?
Oh, sure. I didn't know there were multiple attacks.
My first one, because I didn't know what to expect, it was horrific. I was at work. I had bundled up, ready to go outside. I was a security officer for a high school. And I got outside. It felt like a regular, normal day. And then all of a sudden I was attacked. My body literally gave me an experience, a feeling that I had never experienced before. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was getting ready to tell my boss to call the paramedics to come and get me because I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden, something told me to unzip my jacket. And the minute the air hit me, I was taking everything off. So you know that commercial where you see the lady on the elevator?
Uh-huh.
That was me.
Ooh.
That was me. I was stripping, hat, mittens, sweater, everything was coming off. It was embarrassing. And my boss, she came over and she says, I think, I'm in the middle of one now. I think you're having a hot flash. And I said, is that what that was? Because I wanted to just crawl up on the ice floor, not a warm floor. I just needed something ice cold to change it. And I'm 57 now, and that had to have been when I was about 49. So now they just come.
Mm-hmm.
You see the sweat coming in.
So when did you realize your cycle had stopped?
The cycle started to change colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went from its normal color to an orange. And that made me go to the doctor. And when I explained it to him, he says, you could be starting. And maybe 3 months later, it was gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you describe a hot flash?
a hot flash.
Other than wanting to cry?
Something that comes from the core of your body and permeates out. It just, from the center, and then finally some relief comes because the sweat comes and then the cold air. But then now you're in the opposite. You go from being too hot and then in the very next instant, now you're freezing because the cold air is hitting the water on your body and your whole body is wet, not just this that you see, but everywhere is wet right now.
Would you like a towel?
I'm okay. This is it.
Okay, so what has been your biological reactions to menopause? Like the changes in your body other than the hot flashes?
I really haven't felt any. I have relief of no monthlies, and that's taken a lot of stress off, so I actually feel good about it. I feel freed up. I feel, I'm excited. I'm excited because, you know, from 13 on, I had that monthly visit. And then to not have that, I skip, I jump, I'm relieved now. It's like a new life starting all over again.
Oh, wow.
Children are out of the house and I'm me again. It didn't
So how
take
have
long.
your relationships with others changed since you began menopause?
Um, I don't know to call it being short-tempered, but in the beginning, because you don't know what you're feeling, I think you take it out on other people.
Okay.
And once I realized what I was going through, I'd always say, okay, it's me. It's me. It's not them, it's me. So I just learned to be quiet. And in my change, I think I have less friends now. And like I said, I'm separated, whereas before, I was happily married.
So you were married before you hit menopause?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And
wow.
soon after menopause, it was like just certain things I just don't tolerate anymore. I just not gonna do that anymore.
So that could be, in a way, like a revelation about a relationship. That just, when menopause came, you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm not tolerating nonsense anymore.
No more nonsense.
Take a water as well.
Thank you.
You sure you don't want to tell?
Yeah. Because it's just gonna come back and stuff.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor right now that we're actually on the stop? Could you blow your fan one more time? I just want to see if it's hitting the lock.
If it's,
It is. Let me see if it's actually affecting.
No, let's hold. Let's just let it run. Should have no space. Now, once we figure this out, you just jump right back in.
Okay.
Sounds fine. The fan isn't affecting it.
Okay,
okay.
But that's just.
that's fine. Alright. Okay.
How do you feel society regards menopause? Is it a joke, or are people finally starting to take it seriously?
That's taking it serious. I don't think people know how to take it serious unless they go through it.
Okay.
You have to experience it. I've been in places where women my age don't know what I'm talking about. And someone else has said, girl, I know exactly what you mean. So it all depends. My mother actually never had menopause. She never had the night sweats or anything. Yeah. Like, that's not fair.
So how has your sexual desire changed?
Well, I'm free, you know, I can. I'm not getting the same experience. I'm having fun. Yeah,
What do you mean by fun?
I'm single again, so I'm more active than some of my friends are. They sort of stopped. I mean, they're no longer moist or something, but I'm not having that problem. So I'm having fun. You know, cautious but fun.
Okay, so since you're cautious but fun, does Viagra play a role in the relationship?
I don't know anybody using Viagra.
Okay.
Yeah. I go a little younger.
Start to see a trend with menopause and going younger.
Oh.
Keep a note of that.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
see you, keep a note. But I am married, so maybe not. Okay, so what truths about yourself came out after menopause?
I still like myself. If I could do it again, I'd still want to be a lady, still want to be a little girl. Not saying anything wrong with being a guy, but I'd do it again. It's okay. Yeah, but me, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's just a part of life that we have to, you know, go with the change. If we can't change, we can't grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So let me keep it on a positive. Keep it growing so I'm spiraling up and not down.
If you have any children, you have any daughters?
My daughter, yeah.
Okay. Did you tell her about menopause?
Wow. It took a while to tell her about menses. because she suffered so bad with the pain. To see me go through this, we talk about it, but I think I got some time. We can, you know, as she gets a little older, she's about 28. She's got some time, and she can watch me, and I've talked about it, so she knows what it is. It's not going to hit her like it hit me, because I didn't have a family member that went through it like I'm going through it.
Do you have any sons?
My sons, yeah.
Did you talk to him at all about menopause, or?
Just a part of change, and understanding that it comes, and something else to keep that communication line going in a relationship.
Okay.
Because that change is drastic, and sometimes he can see the change before she can see the change.
Oh, okay.
So he has to be aware of it.
Can you ask why the conversation closed towards your daughter, towards yourself? Or, I'm sorry, you said this.
Why?
Yeah, why haven't you talked about it with your daughter?
With my daughter, oh, okay.
So you had mentioned that your daughter's 28, and you haven't really gone into depth yet about menopause. Is there a reason that you haven't really gone more in depth about it yet?
One, there's a beginning, and to me, the menopause is like a closure. And since she's still in the beginning, she hasn't had any children yet. We still have all of that to talk about. And eventually, yeah, I'll see time. I'll see fit where we have to have that discussion. It's an important topic to have.
Okay. So you just want to hit it one thing at a
It's
time.
one thing at a time.
First base, second base, third.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's reasonable. That's understandable.
Okay.
What was the saddest realization for you about your relationship after menopause had started?
With my friends.
Just relationships in general. Any work, friends, your spouse.
Soon after menopause, I basically stopped working. So I look at that, something had to happen, something switched in me that said, okay, I'm through with this. A lot of things I just don't tolerate, you know. I kept thinking maybe it was because I was older, but it could be just with the body temperature changing, because sometimes a quick negative thought can spark a hot flash. Too many sweets during the day will give me a bad night. And very little alcohol, because alcohol can spike a hot flash where you have sleepless nights. So you got to find balance in your life in order to keep control over the flash.
Do you think menopause would be more respected if men went through it?
Oh, of course. Oh, come on. If men went through it, you know what our bathrooms look like when you close the door is sitting right there. So if they had to deal with it the way we deal with things, it would be everybody would know about it.
Really?
Yeah, it would be well known. Because I still say they're in control with the information that goes out. So if they were dealing with it, it would hit them a different way.
Why do you feel that is? More elaboration?
Why do you feel that?
Say that again?
Why do you feel that if men had menopause, the world would know what to expect?
All right. When my husband gets sick, he's worse than a baby. Okay, so if they went through this, and I don't think they would handle it the same way we would, and they would complain about it a lot more. They would complain about it a lot more than we do. We keep it hush hush because I didn't even know it was coming. You know, I knew that my menses would stop one day, but I didn't know this was going to take its place.
Yeah.
So knowing that this is coming, whew, what did that man say? If I had known I was going to live this long, I would have eaten better. Well, I did. But finding out the things that trigger it for me, because I figure everybody's different, we just have to, love yourself enough to make the changes that you need to be comfortable. Because the whole thing is just being comfortable, because if not, that other side, that other personality could come out. That mood swing, right. And I definitely don't want that.
So it's safe to say that if men went through menopause, there would be a campaign to stop it.
To stop it.
And a medication for hot flashes, the ability to eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
So there is no medication or any relief for hot flashes?
No, actually, I do have a prescription
Oh,
now, but it costs more than anything that I pay for, so I can't afford it. Isn't that horrible? See, if they needed it, it would cost less.
so there's a medication.
There is a medication. I have a prescription. I know it's the EF. I can't think of the name, the pronunciation.
Prescribed by your doctor.
And it was prescribed by my doctor.
So is that, in order to get that prescription, is it like your hot flashes have to be more prolific or like more often? Or is it just you have to tell them, you know what, I'm burning up? and
That's
I
a
need
good
something.
question because I never complained about it. This past March, I had surgery and I was hospitalized for about 10, 15 days. And during that time period, I was having hot flashes from the moment I woke up to the moment I could fall asleep. It was all day. I just did this the whole time, like for 3 days, maybe 4 days straight. I was just hot flash. So much that I complained that they sent me a doctor that says, oh, we can't do anything until you're out of the hospital. So I went and spoke to her and she gave me a prescription. But like I said, it cost more than I could afford, so I still
So
go
there is
through it.
something for it, but
There is something.
it just,
And they do have over-the-counter things, but I never tried anything.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you celebrate when menopause arrived?
I didn't, but I wish I had. And I take it back because I do more things now than I did before. I went back to playing tennis, I do ballroom dancing, so I think I'm celebrating that freedom. Yeah, I'm having more fun now.
So you're celebrating.
I
It's a
am
prolonged
celebrating. It's a
celebration.
prolonged celebration, yes.
Did any truths come out about yourself during your menopause season?
Other than being more wild. I don't say no anymore.
You're adventurous.
Yeah. It's like, why not? Let's try this. I mean, really, we only live once, and there's so many experiences in life. Some you choose not to take. A lot of them we choose not to take. But the ones that we choose to take, we have to enjoy them and live them up to the fullest. And at a certain point, and mine was my cutoff point, where I decided those things that I said no to, I'm gonna go back and pull them out the closet, and I'm gonna experience it.
Just thinking about what do you think made you say no? Like made you so cautious about doing?
I grew up in that no you can't world.
Okay.
No. So eventually you start telling yourself no. And then one day something says, I gotta say yes. And that was it. You're on the other side now. You can turn around and look behind you and see a path. Okay, because at one time I remember turning around like, oh, I don't see anything. But one day I turned around and I saw I had a past, I have a history. And it came through this menopause thing. So it's not a bad thing if you if you can deal with this fanning and staying comfortable. But I think it's in finding out how to make yourself comfortable, paying attention to yourself enough, because the children are gone. And I don't have them to keep my mind off of me,
Yeah.
okay? So my mind is on me now, and it's all right. I'm not afraid. I can handle it.
If people are aware that you're going through menopause, do you ever use it as, so something happens and you're like, you know what, I'm menopausal, so it's okay for me to do this. Do you ever use that?
I don't use that.
No?
No. I've worked with children all my life, and I want to be an example to them. And an emotion can be expressed.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to be silent so you can get the words right. Okay? And most of the time, in this lifetime that I've lived, most people tell you how they feel. Let me tell you, and I don't want to tell you. I want to wait until I know for sure what it is I'm feeling. So that stops me from reacting first. So,
Okay.
yeah. I can't, no, I would not use it as an excuse to go crazy.
Okay, I'm allowed to say that.
Right.
Okay.
Now I might use my age, but not.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, even though your mother and your grandmother didn't have the conversation with you about menopause, when did you realize that your mother and your grandmother were just basically just like you?
Just like me, huh? Yeah.
Girls going from girls to women, just growing up and going through changes in life.
It was early. It was before menopause. I just saw my mom one day, and I saw her as a little girl, and I realized she's still growing, and that means I have a long time to still grow and still learn things and not think I know everything. So I don't want to be cynical. That's the word I'm looking for, not being cynical. But I think I forgot the question.
And so when did you notice that your mother and your grandmother were just girls?
Just girls. Yeah, it was that one day. Me and my mom, we were driving down the street, and she said something, maybe she was looking out the window, and I looked at her, and I just saw her as a little, and it actually changed our relationship. It took us from being mother-daughter to being mother-daughter with friends. It just bonded a relationship because I'm experiencing, I'm catching up to her. And I can see that happening with my daughter, my son, as just being on the same, almost the same level. Almost.
Do you think that because you have a daughter and a son, the fact that your son, you're open with him about the menopause, do you think it'll make him better in understanding, like when he gets married?
When he gets married, definitely, to understand. And I still think men go through a change too. Some form of night sweats they might get when they get older. So I think it's the same.
It's just called something different.
Just something different.
Okay. What's the one message you would want every woman, anyone, to know or to take away from our documentary?
That just because you're in menopause doesn't mean you have to stay at home with the grandchildren. You can still have a life, and they need to pay for a babysitter because I'm not the one. Now that was a personal one, just to my children. I love them to death.
That don't mean my life has
That
stopped.
does not mean my life has stopped. That's right. No. And really, that would be what I want women, even, because I've seen women say, well, I'm too old now. And I'm going, no, you're not. This is, you're as young as you feel. So as long as you feel good, you can continue to do what you want to do. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Miss Toni.
Thank you. That was fun. And yeah, y'all do go through night sweat.